Welcome, friendly viewers. I am Patty Lawler. Thank you for watching. Today we're going to concentrate on how a family or one individual can really contribute to the health of our environment and do their part to preserve planet Earth. 3 key words you'll hear me say throughout the presentation: recycle, reduce, and repurpose. The 3 words are really green words that those that are interested in preserving the environment and worried about the health of our planet use constantly. So let's get started. The first thing, some of them are very elementary, but I've become a believer that I really need to do my part to especially reduce the amount of garbage/trash waste I put out every week. So the first thing, a couple of years ago, I started my own personal war on the plastic bag. It got so crazy. I couldn't get into my my pantry. The one closet door I couldn't get into because I had stuffed all these plastic bags into the pantry door. So at any rate, what I started to do, and it did take some getting used to, I started to bring cloth bags to the grocery store. I have about 3 or 4, and depending on what I'm going to pick up, I take the amount I think I'm going to need. I also take a couple of the plastic bags that I'm recycling from my home in case I buy pork chops or produce or something that I want separated from the other items in the bag. It's perfect to use the bag when you ask the teller or you share with the teller that you brought your own bag. Sometimes you get a discount. Sometimes they let you package the cloth bag, or sometimes they help you. So this is one way that the plastic bag that is there's so many of them. There's places where you can recycle them if you want to find out where they are and see if they didn't move and figure out how to do it and so on and so forth. Better that we reduce right from the very start. The less I bring into the house in plastic bags, the less I have to worry about plastic bags. So that's a little helpful hint about getting rid of the plastic bag. The other one is very, very interesting. And this I've tried, it has to be 2 years ago. This is a towel that isn't worth going to the Griffin Pond Animal Shelter or to Goodwill or Salvation Army. It's a towel that probably is about 6 years old, and at one time he was a thirsty towel and a very, very elegant towel. But over time he was washed and dried so many times, you'll see he really has no nap. And so what I did, using a pinking shears, that's very, very important. The pinking shears, you won't have fray. What I did was make him into what I call my little cloth wipes. So these I can use as something as simple as cleaning off a table, something as simple as keeping on when I'm doing my painting to take care of the extra paint on my brushes, something as simple as if I don't have a washcloth or a dishcloth, I can use this fellow just till I get them washed, the regular ones. And this, of course, the larger size, well, he can be used for almost anything. Most of the time, I use them for when I'm doing larger sweeping or cleaning, and also for when the dog comes in wet, it's a good towel for him, and also for when I'm doing cleaning of the interior of the car, I use that. The interesting thing about the cloth, even though nobody else wants it, is that they really don't get that dirty, and I can wash them and I can reuse them. Again, keep your good towels, of course. Everyone needs to be pampered. But your old towels, don't throw them away if they're not fit to be given out. Use them, and that's very, very important. The other interesting thing that I want to bring to your attention is the newspaper. And I want to relate the newspaper or reduce the wrapping paper by replacing the wrapping paper we use with newspaper. So an interesting thing would be for us to concentrate on taking a moment and realizing at Christmas time how much wrapping paper, and at birthday parties and birthday times, wrapping paper that we use. The jury is still out. Some people say, oh, that goes in with the newspaper. But I don't take chances like that. If I don't know for sure, I'm not going to contaminate the newspaper that goes out faithfully every week for the trash pickup as a recycling component. But I can cut down on the newspaper I put out there because I'm going to reduce the wrapping paper I'm going to buy. So just a couple of little examples. This here it's very masculine, I think, the black and white and red. So it would be maybe for a youngster graduating from high school or your boyfriend or your uncle. But anyway, the secret to this is I've used newspaper print, but you notice I'm very selective. There is no pictures, there's no foot or ankle of a wrestler on the mat on the wrapping paper. It's just strictly classic with black and white. So that is a way that you can use the newspaper for wrapping paper. Now I'm going to do on camera one that's even more exciting. Last year I decided I would save all of my comic pages from the Sunday paper so that throughout this year, instead of buying wrapping paper, I would try real hard to use newspaper. The best of all is the comics. So I'm going to look at the comics here, and I'm going to pick the interior that has a lot of color and a lot of excitement, I'll call it. So I'm going to cut it, and as I'm cutting, I just want to share with you, the comics are terrific in their own right, but let's say you have somebody that's really, really excited about Charlie Brown and Snoopy. Well, there you go. That's what you want to use as your wrapping paper. Then you might have somebody that is interested in gardening, and there's a little blurb or a little funny gardener, Grumpy Gardener or whatever his name is. There you go. You're going to try to look for things that would relate to the person that you're giving the gift to. So I'm pretending I'm making this gift for an aunt. So I'm going to file that there, and then I'm going to wrap the little gift. So I'm going to take my tape very, very quickly, and I'm going to, of course, do it like we all do, wrap. And again, with the wrapping paper, some I'm almost sure is earth-friendly. I think they're moving to that. It's been a very long ride getting to products that are really earth-friendly. I think it's something that we're really, as we see the climate changing and we worry about global warming, it's something that we're really going to have to consider what we can do as individuals to save the size of the trash that's out in front of our house. So there you have a very cute little box that is wrapped for an aunt. I made sure that Gladys's face from the Pickles cartoon is in the middle there, or kind of on the side. So I really don't need to wrap it. I don't really need a ribbon. What can I use instead of ribbon? Well, what if I put a little picture there of me when I was a little girl with a little circle on it, or a little tiny flower, or a little tiny something or other. But just to give you a little finishing touch on it, yarn is very inexpensive. He is earth-friendly, and he makes a nice contribution to the package. It sets it off, of course. So I'm going to put a little bit of yarn to set off what it's going to look like, just so that it's not bare. But you can do a lot of things besides ribbon. And what I'm going to do is cut a little bit, so it's just little, what do I want to say, little pokes. And then I'm going to add a couple more so that it fills it up a little bit for my aunt, pretend, or a girlfriend. One of the things, I've started to do this, and when people see this, when I come in with a little gift, a hostess gift, let's say, they'll say, Patty, what is that? And it really is a conversation starter. And then they say, what a good idea. What a good idea, realizing that, let's face it, some of the wrapping paper, 2 for $1 rolls, $1, 3 for $5, they even smell toxic. So if we could save the wrapping paper and take it out of the trash can that isn't recyclable paper, we've done a day's work in trying to preserve the health of our earth and taking away keeping it out of a landfill. So there you have, you're using newspaper as wrapping paper. You're switching one out, so you're really reducing and you are repurposing. So after we get finished with the newspaper, we want to go to another very serious topic, which is plastic. The whole world seems to be built on plastic these days. And if you go into some stores, you'll see aisles and aisles of plastic toys for children, and you'll see plastic cups and saucers and containers and all different sizes and waste baskets and all this stuff. And the dead truth is that plastic is not biodegradable, which means it was created, well, let me put it this way. If you are a Cool Whip container, you are going to live a very, very, very long life because you're not biodegradable. So the more Cool Whip containers we have in the landfill, let's say, the more toxic and more detrimental to our health and to our soil, and they make their way into waterways. And that too is a very big concern. So I have made an effort, like I did with the little white bags from the grocery store, is I have gone as much as I can to glass. So this one, I brought this one, but I use, jelly glass, jelly jars, pickle jars, olive jars. So that's what I use to store my food, my leftovers if I can, or things for the pantry. So I brought this one is very exciting. I have a couple of, were old-fashioned jars that were used for canning, and I would say when I was growing up. I'm not even sure the company is still in business, but on the top here, you're going to like this. On the top it says, let me see, crafted for quality, sealed for freshness, and a beautiful little made in the USA. So it's quality glass, and I have my Asian noodles in it. This is in my cabinet with my pastas, and included, if you can imagine it, a 2-cup measuring slide. So it's more than even a storage jar. I also use this type of a jar, or a jelly jar, or a pickle or olive, to store leftovers. I can store fruit salad and in a little jar. I can store my pasta sauce if I have pasta sauce left after a dinner party. So I've switched out to plastic. Again, I like plastic well enough, but I'm thinking that it is healthier. After each time I use it, you put it in the dishwasher, the glass, and you know for certain it's clean to the best of its ability. Where plastic, I don't know. Of course, they're, again, similar to what we were talking about with wrapping paper. There are very top-of-the-line grades. So there's plastic, and then there may be out on the market, and it'll say earth-friendly or biodegradable, a fine plastic. But right now, I'm trying to stay away from plastic as much as I can. All of my soda is in aluminum cans. I don't buy plastic. And so I think that's an important start. I'm one person, but I am one person that can make a difference. And you are one person, or your family is one family, but we can make a difference. and we can get used to doing things in a different way, where we're looking at the waste. It's once you see how wasteful you are, and we'll continue with that, you really want to rein in just a little bit. If you have children, of course, it's hard because glass does break. Here's another interesting thing. This is a little fellow. This little cup, he's a sturdy little guy. Now, he has a lot of potential. You can find if you can imagine this, in the dairy section of the grocery. He is a yogurt cup. So I'm not exactly sure what the name of the brand is, but yogurt actually comes in this little tiny, adorable, now he's an incubator for me with this little guy in him. But he can be, just imagine this, you have a summer banquet or you're having family over for a nice, holiday, and you have this little guy and you can make a beautiful little favor. You could either put, fall mums in him, or you could put little marigolds in him, and you could put your place card, and there your guest has a favor to take home that cost you absolutely nothing, and you recyced him. So getting to the little fellow in the glass now in the incubator, I received from the Laurel Garden Club. It was one of the members' ideas. And he's been with me, living in my home, since August. He was just a wee little thing when I got him in August. And he's been with me until now. And he's done his beautiful job building up his root ball. And he is ready to be transferred into the garden to join, I believe it's either hens or chicks or hens. But anyway, this little guy, he is as hardy as could be. He's a beautiful, they grow on, actually they can grow on flagstone. They are great super spreaders. If you have a patch in the backyard, the chicken, the hen, if you have a patch that just doesn't seem to take to grass and it's in a strange spot that doesn't get light or good soil drainage, put the chick or the hen. They are fantastic. So again, what I'm doing with him is once he's gone to his new home outside, I'll wash this up, and I can even put rubber bands in it. And this has a lot of uses. How great, isn't it? And he did come filled with yogurt. So here I am recycling. All right, so we want to go, sometimes you have plastic, and there's really nothing you can do with plastic except throw it out. When you get your new refrigerator that the ice cubes shoot out the door, and everybody's in awe of that. And then the old refrigerator, you're left with maybe 6-8 trays of ice cube, the ice cube tray. And of course, a lot of them are plastic. When I was a little girl, ice cube trays were aluminum, but now they're plastic. And so what I did was, I can't take credit for it. This I saw in a magazine, Better Homes and Gardens or something like that. I brought them to my jewelry drawer. So I have 2 ice cube trays dedicated to earrings, and then I have 2 white trays dedicated to fashion pins that complement an outfit. So I want to share this with you because we're friends. This is the most organization I have in my life, is in the jewelry drawer looking at this. And it brings me great peace, and I can put my finger on any earring I want to wear or any pin I want to pin. So every now and again, what I do, because I am a collector, not a hoarder, a collector, I go through, see which ones doesn't have a mate, and of course I have to discard them. Not the backs though. I have a little spot here it's called my junk cube, where I have things that I want to keep, and that's where the backs are. So going through it, I see this pair of earrings. They hurt like hell. And so I'm going to go ahead and what I call recard them. And what I'm going to do, for me, I have fat earlobes, but for someone, maybe that's shopping at Salvation Army or somebody at Goodwill, I'm going to card them. And they will be in my box for Goodwill. They weren't the cheapest earrings that I I've bought. And here what I'm doing now is regifting. That's another word, regifting. But basically, instead of throwing them out, I'm going to hope they get another home, another lady that enjoys jewelry as much as I do, and we pass it on. So we're recycling the earrings that I really don't care for. So we go off this, and now we go on to a very special project. We're going to talk about the styrofoam. Now, styrofoam is another deadly sin. He's right up there with plastic. He doesn't break up into the soil in a healthy way. I just read last night that glitter is actually part, plastic. And the kids today, glitter, glitter, glitter. And they see a real uptick in the ocean floor. If you can even wrap your mind around it, the glitter on the ocean floor is causing the sea life, the fish, to die because they are ingesting the glitter, part plastic, as they're taking in their water supply. And of course, they are, it's toxic to them, and they get sick and they die. So the reason I'm dedicating this program to these, you might say they're foolish, or you might say, oh yeah, sure, but I just thought I want to share them with you, and I want to bring it to your attention, the good viewers that you are, that we might be, if we concentrate and realize that this is a problem, that preserving our earth is our responsibility, not so much for our generation, but the generation after us and their generation. So this is an interesting project. I know some of you might know that I was a school teacher for 34 and a half years, elementary, and my longevity was in second grade. So when we were doing our Mother's Day project in school, it was just weeks after we did a whole unit on recycling and reusing and repurposing. So this little Mother's Day project was designed for them to realize we can repurpose and recycle. So what the basic thing is, what we recycled is those styrofoam egg cartons. Sometimes you'll see on the egg carton, earth friendly, and that means that it's made with the substance that is going to be complementary to the soil and to the environment. But sometimes of course you don't. So we cut these little guys up. The teacher usually does this part. And then we start to put the blossom together by using what is, of course, not recyclable, the pipe cleaner. I'd call this repurposing because I would save the colored paper or the tissue paper for a very long time throughout the year. And so this would be paper I didn't use, or it was creased, or it was crinkly, or whatever. So anyway, I'm going to just make the blossom first. And then if there's teachers watching, or anyone that loves crafts, or if there's anyone that works with children, it's not all, it can be many things other than a bouquet. You can use this actually as a centerpiece. You would just put it in probably the little jar there. And you can also use it, you can make a crown. I know the little girls today love dress up and fairies and princesses. So, and it's fun. Kids love to do this. Creativity. If we tap into creativity, that side of children, I am almost convinced after 34 and a half years, it builds their self-esteem to see if they can create, because there's no wrong way and there's no right way. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to take this. I want one that's a little bit, has a little bit more edge to it. And I'm going to put my little, I'm going to start with this color. I'm going to make this is the stem. So I'm going to wrap them 3 times around a pencil. And then I am going to start the fun part. Now I have so much vivid color here. I'm going to concentrate on a pastel. So they're the littler flower. And this is what the children love most of all. The teacher or the mom, they have to cut the circles out, and you put a little paper clip on them. And then each time the child or the student, they finish one packet, they can come up and start another one. But what I'm going to do is kind of make a blossom. And you're going to notice that I am not going right to the center with the tissue paper. I want that look that they are like petals. So see, this isn't in the center. I'm going to go this way. Now, the more of this I do, obviously, the prettier it is. So I'm not exactly sure how our time is, but I'm going to try to get at least one done. And you want to take your time so that you have, let's see if we can get this guy. Yeah, we have this guy. So that they really are delicate. Put a little yellow one in here. Put him. And I'm kind of even arranging them in a petal-like way on the pipe cleaner. Okay. When I tell you this, I loved teaching. It was a wonderful career for me. So if anyone is thinking about being a teacher, it is, no matter what you hear people say, the relationship between a student and a teacher, you'll never find that anywhere. Many of those that I taught now have children of their own, and I'm so proud of each and every one of them. But one of the most exciting projects, and this is for the mothers, I want you to hear this. All the projects that you did when you were in second grade for all the holidays, and Mr. Acorn, and Santa's stockings, and Valentine hearts and bears, the one that meant the most, the one that they were most excited about, was the one they did for Mommy. And so I would see, as their teacher, the thrill in their eyes and the excitement when they were leaving me to go home and surprise Mommy and hide it. So I'm sure as I aged, I'm an old lady now, the hardest job in the world is a mother, a good mother, a hard, hard job. But when you teach children, how about that? Leaving that Friday before Mother's Day with the love in their hearts for their mommy. There was no one quite like their mommy. And I just wanted to share that because I think mothers deserve so much credit. Now here's where the fun starts. I'm going to put the little guy into the cup, and I'm going to take the cup up very, very, very gently. And then I'm sure our cameras can see this, and he's going to become the perfect, look at this one. Isn't it beautiful? Again, if you have time, you can really do a lot with this besides a Mother's Day project. He can be, if you're having a shower, I never tried all white, but if you're having a shower or you're having some sort of a birthday party or some sort of an event, or even if you're doing something for your community and you want to decorate tables, cheap, and easy to do. Now, for those that might want to try it, you should have a piece of, not exactly construction paper, a little bit more a heft to it. So what I've done is I've made holes before we came to the television studio. And so I'm going to put him through that hole. And then when I get him through that hole, I'm going to put him through, I want to get him through the hole first. And I'm going to put him, see, actually, you can have so many more blossoms. And honestly, this is truly a win-win for children and anyone that likes crafting. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them right in. You see what I have now. I have the doily. And you see that what I'm finishing touch would be is I'm going to take a little bit of the Elmer's glue. Being a teacher, whenever I see Elmer's glue, actually when I was doing this project, it makes me lonesome for when I was a young woman and went to school every day. This second graders love projects. So I'm going to make sure that that's going to just hold the doily in place. And the last thing is I'm going to twine the stems. This is kind of important or you'll poke your eye out. And so I'm going to twine it tight, 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 tight. And then I'm going to loop it up. You know, as Martha Stewart would always say, it's a good thing. And so I'm just going to use her phrase and say, these are good things because they are recycled things. And we're doing our part, if you will, to preserve the earth. Okay, so we're going to put that. I need a little bit more glue, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to tape it. How does that sound? No one can cheat like a teacher. So here we go. I'm just kidding. So here we are. I'm going to tape that on. I'm going to put this up. And isn't it beautiful? I hope you like it. So all you need is tissue paper, the pipe cleaner, the paper doily, and a little stiff piece of cardboard, and then the more colorful it is, the prettier it is. So our time is coming to an end, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the program as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. I think it is important. I know this seems like, kids stuff, what I'm showing you today, but there's so many other things that you can expand on, because I am worried about solar energy, not solar energy, global warming, and all these things that's kind of, I don't know, the planet seems angry right now. So whatever we can do, it's going to be appreciated. And from all of us here at ECTV, as always, we loved having you with us, and we look forward to next time. And I am Patty Lawler, and enjoy the week. Bye now.